we are going to discuss date and time function. Under date and time function, we are going to discuss today, now, dated if, year month, and network days. For example, these functions can help you within an organization. For example, you want to calculate the age of employee that you want to discover, or you want to when the employee will be retiring. You can also use this date and time function to find the number of what? The number of years. And also you can find out the tenure of an employee. For example, an employee, let's say that employee you had a contract of 3 months. Now you want to find out how many how many days of, that are remaining for this employee to get exit of work from the organization. You can also use this function. For example, when you are working with you want to come up with a calendar, you can also use this function within Microsoft Excel. You can also use date and time function. For example, you want to calculate the salary. This employee, you have been employing him or her within the organization, and after that, in the middle of the month, the employee decided to leave the organization, meaning you'll have to pay him or her something. To do that, you'll just use the date and time function to achieve that. The introduction of it, Excel stores dates as serial numbers, where January 1, 1900 is serial number 1, and each subsequent day increments by 1. For example, March 24, 2025 is a serial number. This one. Times are stored as decimal fraction of a day. For example, you can represent 12 p.m. is 0.5, representing a half a day. Date and time function allows you to manipulate these serial numbers to perform calculations, such as finding the difference between what? Between dates, determining the end of a month, or displaying the current date and time. We have date function that returns the current date, updated automatically each time the workbook is open or recalculated. The date function is an important function that you'll see how we will apply it using in our practical. Here, there is no argument as required. You just type is equal to day, then open and close the bracket. Today uses the system clock to return the current date in Excel. Date format is that. This one, for example, if your system date is wrongly set, meaning it will return a wrong what? A wrong date. You can also use a date function to calculate the number of days since a project starts. For example, you are having a project and you want to calculate how many days within how many days has this project started since we launched this project. You can also use today function. Then we have now function, return the current date and time, updated automatically each time the workbook is open or calculated. The now date is just required, no argument is required, just type is equal now, then open and close the bracket. We have not to extract such the date and time. From now, you use that for date only, time only. Then we are having data if function calculates the difference between two dates in years, months, or uh, or uh, or days. For example, you just specify the date if is equal sign dated if start date, end date, then unit. That's the earlier date, that's the start date, then the end date, that is the later date. The units of time to calculate can be days or how many years has this clauses lasted in this organization, you can use that if function. How humans function? This it returns the last day of the month for a given what? A given date. After adding or subtracting a specified number of months, the syntax is start date, month, then it specifies the month. The start date, that the reference date, then the month, the number of months to add, that is positive, or subtract is negative. Humans can get the date of the last day of the month after adjusting the date, the start date by the specified month. We have use case it can be used to calculate due date for monthly invoices. We have network day function. It calculates the number of working days, excluding the weekends, between two dates. That's the syntax that is specify the start date, the end date, and if any holiday exists, you specify the holiday. The use cases where you can apply the network date function. You can just be applied it and calculate project timeline excluding weekends and holidays. Thank you for that answer. That is it. Then do that to find to find the the working days or to find the weeks. First of all, let's start with the week. To do the week, we'll just use equals sign week week now. Then the serial number based on this comma. The return, let's start from Monday, then close the bracket, then enter. Can see that we're having 21 weeks. Now, to find the working days to to ship, we will use a function known as, let's say we want to use the network days to know the working days. Now, if I want to find out the working days to ship in this data, I, I will use formula is equal sign network days start date is data, then the end date is today, then close the bracket, and can see I'm remaining the 1 days to ship. Now apply the rest. Can see remaining the date one and the date, the working days between this 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 shipping date to today. I'm having 21, 81 days for the first row. Then if I apply to the rest, here I'm having 52 days between the shipping date and today, that I'm having the what? The 52 working days. And another level 2, level 332. Here I want to calculate the age of our employees. Then organization can have employees and want to see if this employee has reached the retirement. The retirement you can just use. To do this, I will use dated if is equal sign dated dated. I will use dated if, then open the bracket, open the bracket. This is the date of birth, comma, date function. Can see date function is very powerful. Then comma, I'll specify the units I need in years. Close the speech mark, close the bracket, hit enter. You can see I'm having this person is 28 years, and I apply the rest of the set you can see I'm able to calculate the age of these employees. Another level we are going to discuss is for coming up with a monthly calendar. If you want to come up with a monthly calendar, you can just use a formula that is equal sign sequence. You can use a formula that is sequence sequence. Then rows, we are having 6 rows, then 7 columns. Then you can set date, then the year. We are coming up with a calendar of the year 2025, 2025, comma, month of May, comma, first, first May, first of May, then close bracket of the sequence, then you hit enter. You are able to come up with what? With the dates, with the calendar. You are able to come up with a monthly calendar. You can see the sequence number and it says the date of this month. Then another level, we are going to calculate the salary. For example, you have employed a person in an organization and that person left the organization in the middle of the month, meaning the month is not yet and the person needs to leave, but you need to pay him or her. Meaning to do this, we will do some calculation of how we can achieve this so that at the end we are able to pay our employees if they left within the month or before the month ends. And to do that, we use year function that is equal sign year function. Start date, this is the start date, comma, the end date, that is F5, that's end the cell reference, F5, that's cell reference, then hit enter. Here, when you increase the decimal, we are here, we are able to find that range. Now we use this range to multiply by the salary. We multiply by the salary, then hit enter. We are able to get this amount of money to decrease the decimal. We are able to get this amount of money that you need to pay this person. When you apply the rest of the cell, you are able to see that you are able to pay this person even if she or he left within or before the month ends. Now we have another level, the last level, that is level 5. That is, for example, we want to calculate the quarters, this data quarters. To do that or to extract, we will use a function called the round up function. That's round up function. Round is equal sign, round function, round up function. Then we want to extract month, the serial. The serial is C7. Then close the bracket. We divide by 3 quarterly after making it jump to another quarter. But we don't want zeros, whereby we will use comma. We don't want decimal. We remain decimal. Then it when you close bracket, then and apply this to the rest of the set. We are able to achieve this after quarter. It jump to another quarter. Now to do some formatting on this, let's say you want queue from this data, we'll just do some customization by we'll come here use the number section. Just click that arrow. Here we come to custom. Here you can see that we have in here 1 and 0. Here we just add in front of here just add Q. Then hit okay. You can see that writing quiz 1 Q2 1 Q1 Q2 Q2 Q3.